Am I the a-hole for ruining our night out because I didn't want to be around my friend's creepy coworker? 20F, used to go clubbing a lot with my friend Emma, also 20F, her coworker Logan, 21M, and a few others from her work. At first, it was all just lighthearted fun. Logan seemed nice, maybe a little overly friendly, but I didn't think much of it. He'd occasionally touch my waist when trying to pass by me in crowded spaces, which always felt unnecessary. I remember thinking, you could have just said, "Excuse me," like a normal person. But I brushed it off because everything else seemed chill. We ended up hanging out often, mostly at clubs, sometimes grabbing food after. Emma and Logan started growing closer as friends, and one night Emma let it slip. Logan had a huge crush on me. At first, I was flattered. It's always kind of a confidence boost when someone likes you, right? But then it got weird. Fast. According to Emma, Logan was obsessed. He constantly talked about me, told her I was different from other girls, that I was his dream girl and the perfect woman. He would send Emma long, emotional texts about how much he adored me, even though we'd barely had any real conversations outside of small talk and group hangouts. It went from flattering to really unsettling fast. He told Emma he was trying to win me over and was apparently showing my photos to his friends, co-workers, even his boss, like I was some prize he was pursuing. It made me feel exposed, like I was being watched without knowing it, like I was starring in a romance I never signed up for. What made it worse? He was completely normal around me, friendly, casual. So if I ever wanted to say, "Hey, this is getting weird," it would seem like I was the one overreacting. But behind the scenes, he was inventing stories, telling people I tried to hold his hand, or that I wasn't flirting with guys at the club because I secretly liked him. Spoiler, I wasn't flirting because I just wanted to dance and vibe, not because I had feelings for Logan. And I never gave him any signals that I was interested. I started feeling super uncomfortable, especially because Emma was telling me everything. I asked her multiple times to stop sharing his texts and confessions with me, because it was stressing me out. I wasn't supposed to know any of it, so I couldn't even confront him directly without making things worse. Emma said she told him I wasn't interested, but I'm honestly not sure how clearly she communicated that, or if she just didn't want to hurt his feelings. And then things started spiraling. Logan picked a fight, verbal, not physical, with a friend of his who had messaged me. Apparently, he was angry the guy was interested in me. Another time, he got mad because Emma had casually tried to set me up with one of their other coworkers. Like, we weren't even friends, but suddenly he felt entitled to veto who I could or couldn't talk to. Then came the moment that really freaked me out. One night at the club, some random guy came up to me and started asking questions like, "So, what's going on with you and Logan? He really likes you, give him a chance." I was stunned. We didn't even know these guys. Turns out, Logan had chatted them up while I was in the bathroom and basically told them to back off because I was his girl. That was when I realized, this wasn't just a weird crush. This was someone actively creating a false narrative about a relationship that didn't exist, and then telling strangers about it to defend imaginary boundaries. He did apologize afterward. Sent me a text like, "Sorry about those guys who jumped on you. I found that really out of line, and I'm sorry even though I don't know them." I appreciated the apology, but a week later, Emma told me he was still asking her what he could do to win me over. Eventually, Emma must have told him I was never going to be into him, because he flipped, picked a fight with her, got super moody, and disappeared from our clubbing crew for a while. I thought it was finally over. 2 months passed. I was busy with finals, focusing on school, avoiding the drama. Emma told me he still talked about me at work, though. I even stopped going to the store where he worked because his coworkers would recognize me and stare. It made me feel so exposed and gross. But I didn't have a car, and the store was the only one close by. Then last week, Emma invited me out again. A club night with her, Logan, her boyfriend, and like 10 other coworkers. At first, I hesitated because of Logan, but I thought, it's a big group. I'll barely have to interact with him. Emma and I planned everything together, our outfits, ride logistics, where we'd sleep afterward. We were hyped. Then one by one, everyone bailed. By the day before, it was just going to be Emma, her boyfriend, me, and Logan. For people. Same cab. Same house. I got an awful feeling in my gut. Last time we all crashed at Emma's, Logan stayed up way too long in the living room, where he was sleeping, and I noticed every time I stepped out to go to the bathroom, he was wide awake, watching me. It was unnerving, and I didn't want to repeat that experience. I knew how Logan would interpret this. A small group. A cozy setup. In his mind, it would be a double date. So I told Emma that if it was just the 4 of us, I didn't feel comfortable going. But I didn't just bail. I invited another friend to join so we'd be five, and I'd sleep over at her place instead. It felt like the best compromise. But then Logan heard another girl was joining and said he didn't want to come because he'd feel left out. After that, Emma's boyfriend bailed too because he didn't want to be the only guy. And just like that, the whole plan unraveled. Emma was furious. She said I ruined the night by canceling last minute and that we had been planning this for a week. And yeah, I get why she was disappointed. I was too. But honestly, I'm not sorry. I didn't feel safe. And I shouldn't have to sacrifice my comfort to accommodate a guy who's repeatedly made me feel creeped out and objectified. I don't owe him anything. Not my time, not my presence, not even my polite silence. So, am I the a-hole for backing out and ruining our night out? Or was I right to finally set a boundary before things got even more uncomfortable?